This next concept project breaks away from lights surrounding a single subject and is more akin to a full lighting system in a theater. This is going to allow you to utilize groups and palettes, texture and size, foreground and background. All this to help you understand the lighting design function of composition. Here I want you to paint the stage with light. Remember, though, to utilize the first 4 tools of a lighting designer, and I will add a 5th. So don't forget about intensity and shadow, line and direction, color and contrast, texture and quality, and now we're going to add to it dimension and focus. And of course, you can read more about any of those elements in the links below. The files that you'll need can, of course, be accessed from the up and running with etc folder, and you'll have hopefully already downloaded those. Otherwise, you can access it from the link in the lesson below. In that folder, of course, you'll find an assignment sheet providing you with your project task. A new one is that you'll find a light plot if you like to visualize how things are actually hung, if you're a technician, if you like this sort of thing. Of course, a magic sheet for you to help understand each purpose and each system of lights, and then, of course, the EOS file itself. As with the first 2 concept projects, it's nice to have a muse. In this project, because you're now wanting to fill the stage, it's helpful to think about a story. So I would suggest thinking about a scene from a play, a moment from a movie, or a chapter from a book. That would help. If you're a visual person, this would be a great chance to be inspired by a painting instead, maybe from the realism or impressionism art movements. A quick note, and this is kind of important. I find that people tend to design one of 2 ways. First, they light the people, and then they light the space around the actors. Or maybe you're the second type, that you light the space first, and then the actors on top of it second. Which model is correct? Which order is correct? I would tell you the answer is yes. Both are right, so long as you don't forget the other half and ensure that you've given full weight to both parts. I personally love to start putting a base layer of color and texture on the stage, and then I'll lift the actors off that backdrop. But I find that sometimes I allow the actors to get lost in the grandiose stage picture. Either way, always know where you need to drive the focus. Always serve the story. Okay, let's look at the EOS file first. Once you've opened the file, begin by running macro 1 or M1, enter. And once again, you'll see that macro 1 is getting ready to run. And once I hit enter, it'll run macro 1. What this is going to do is going to reset your EOS setup to work for this particular file. So you might have been working on the other lessons and things are set a certain way. This will reset everything for this particular assignment. Number 2, this is pretend scenic design that I created for class purposes, and a few character illustrations that I found from a stock website because I can't draw that well. I peaked in 6th grade. This will allow you to play, though, both director in deciding how and when the actors move, as well as lighting designer. So think about both tasks. I would personally encourage you to begin by deciding what the characters are doing in the ambient light, recording a cue for each of those movements, and then adding light on top of it. If you need a little bit of help seeing what everything looks like in practice, I've already created a handful of looks for you. So, for example, Q101 is a pre-show or a house open look, and we can even see that there's house lights here. Number 102 is a blackout, because you always have to go to a blackout. Technically, it's a blue out. Number 103 is the first scene right here. Number 104 is a blue out. Q105 is scene 2. Q106 is blackout again. And then Q108, we end with a curtain call. And then finally, Q109 is a post-show house open, because you always have to think about how people are getting out of here. Okay. I'd love to spend a couple minutes then going through the magic sheet. If you're planning on fully investing yourself in this assignment, and the next one will be the same setup, I would really recommend that you print off your magic sheets. It's really nice to have it at your side, separate from your computer screen, so just sitting on the desk next to you. Okay, I'd love to now step through the whole magic sheet, and I think it might help you connect a few of the dots. If you don't need to do this, feel free to fast forward, skip ahead, or go ahead and start playing around with the assignment. Okay, so if we see here that on the magic sheet we've got multiple systems of light: front, white top, high side texture, back side texture, LED backlight, other texture lights, and a handful of specials up here. And we can see the stage here that the focus areas roll around from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that each system then repeats that 1, 2, 3 pattern with a different number in front of it. So here's area 1, here's 11, here's 21, here's 31 different systems. And we can see that they float around the stage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm just going to continue to float around like that. Pretty simple. You'll also notice in the magic sheet that here in these little gray boxes, we've got different groups that will either turn on all the lights in that system. So group 1 was all the front lights. Group 2 is just the lights for the bottom portion of the stage. And group 3 is for the lights on the top portion of the stage. And we'd continue on with all the different groups. Okay, so let's step through each system individually. Okay. So the first set of groups, or first set of systems, is the front light system. So group 1 at, I'm going to say 65 for now, and I could turn it up if I needed to. So it's just a pretty boring, kind of ugly wash, and of course the visualization can only do so much. Group number 2, that would be the white top lights, or group 11, I'm sorry. System number 2. Group 11 is white top lights. So I'm going to take that at 80%. So this is just top down. It's white. It doesn't change at all. By the way, group 1, the lights here, these will change colors. So you can change the color of your front lights. The third group is the high side texture lights, or group 21. So I'm going to turn those on. These are just going to create a wash of textures. It's kind of interesting to see that on the characters and on the stage itself. Again, these are LEDs, so color changing. The fourth group, system, group 31, is another high side textures. The next system, the LED backlights, so group 41. This is just a general wash of colorful lights. Again, you can change this color. So this one might be a nice one to paint some sort of color on top of there, and then you could take group 31 at full. Now this is going to put texture, and you could put a color that's going to contrast. So not the blue itself, but something that might pop off the blue, right? So it's going to be painting that stage with light there. The next system is a looming back texture, so group 51. So it's going to hit that, and it kind of splays out nicely. This is one of the examples that I said earlier, that you can have a bunch of lights clumped together to create an interesting line. Okay, now we're going to go to the second sheet. This is where we get some of the more interesting ones, or the more specialized ones. So this is all the lights in the back, so doing the walls and the walls behind the walls. So there's front walls, so group 61. And there's also back walls, so group 62. So 2 sets of walls. And each set of walls has a color and a texture. So you can paint the wall with color and then put interesting looks on it with texture. In addition to the walls, we also have group 100, which will be front lights for the space in between the walls. So if you have an actor standing in between 2 walls here, you can light them with a little bit of front light. Okay. Going further, we have a set of groups that aren't actually lights themselves, or a system of lights that's a grouping of lights. So group 101 through group 110. So group 101 would be anything in focus area A of the previous system. So it's going to turn on a front light, white light, high texture, these all together. We might not use it this way so much, but if I'm in the middle of a queue such as this, I can say that this area right here is a little bit too bright. So I might say group 106 and group 107 and group 109, and then we can bump down or up the lights that are being used in that section and ignore the ones that are actually on. So this is what we might use that for. Okay. Next, we also have a few movers. So if you want some specials, I didn't give you too many, just 8 to make your life a little bit simple. And they're all in pairs. So A, B, C, D, E, going from stage right to stage left. So if you wanted something over here, you could say group 121 at full, and it's going to grab a front mover and a back mover. And now we could pull these over and light the dog. And of course, remember that if you scroll up while you're dragging, it'll change the height of the focus. And these are full-on movers. You can make them do almost anything you want. Over here are the 400s, I like to put them at. So these are audience lights. You don't really need to worry about them too much. Just 400. Oops, 400. So it's going to be all those house lights and all that jazz right there. And finally, this is kind of the new one here that we've got are figures. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, and we've got some stock figures too. So I would encourage you to think about consistency. So this set of 6 are pretty consistent. This set of 4 are pretty consistent, and this set of 9 are pretty consistent in style. So if you do 921, we are now controlling the girl right here. And just like any other moving light, I can hold the boy, and I can hold and drag and move him around the space. And I can even make him go up or down. So if he's maybe in the stage or below the stage, we don't have to worry about that. So that's kind of neat. And of course, we can take him out or at full to hide him or to show him. So there are a handful of other ones. So here's 911. There we go. So a lot of options there. Okay. One last note before you go off and play. I want to encourage you to think about the first 5 elements of lighting design: intensity, line, color, texture, and dimension. How can you use all of those elements in tandem to compose a compelling stage picture that tells a story and allows the actors to grab focus? For example, you might make an opening monologue using the main character. She might want to tell us about someone important to her by standing and have that person in the back lightly lit while the rest of the townsfolk look on in some sort of ambient style of stage while she is well lit. Also, one very last note. This is the most important. There's a dog because why not?